Hi, so my name is Wendy, and this past semester I studied abroad at the University of Edinburgh in Edinburgh, Scotland. I'm originally from the US. I go to college full-time in a US university, so I've been here for over 4 months, and I wanted to kind of sit down and film a more informative video. I know that before I left to study abroad, I had a lot of questions and a lot of fears, and I kind of took those fears and questions to the online space. So I looked up a lot of YouTube videos and blog posts about studying abroad, and there honestly wasn't a lot out there, especially when it came to studying abroad at the University of Edinburgh. So I just know that I would have felt a lot more comfortable, and my fears definitely would have been settled if I did have kind of that comfort from people who had been through the same situation or have also studied abroad at Edinburgh. And I wanted to start out with a room tour video because I'm sure a lot of people, when they are studying abroad, they want to know what their living situation is going to be like, and I definitely wanted to know that before I came here, and I wasn't provided with really any information on that. So the first part of this video is just going to be kind of talking about my experience with my living situation this semester, and then I'm going to show you my room. So I lived in New Arthur Place, which is a first year flat. They call them flats in the UK, not dorms, because it's sort of like you're living in an apartment. So for my flat, and I'm pretty sure this is just for New Arthur in general, you have 4 different people living here. You share a bathroom and a kitchen. So I live on the top floor in addition to 2 other of my flatmates, and then we have a bathroom up here, and then downstairs is the kitchen and our other flatmate's room. So all of that compiles sort of like one section of the building, and then you have like a bunch of other flats in the same building as well. So it's kind of like a dorm, but then like each room has a kitchen, has a bathroom, has 4 other like bedrooms, and it occupies 2 different floors. So as a study abroad student, you will be living with first year students. I'm pretty sure all study abroad students actually live with first year students. So personally, I loved my flatmates. I thought they were all super nice. I had one other flatmate that was also a study abroad student. So you'll either be living with study abroad students, first years who are full-time students here, or a combination of both, which was my case. So like I said, I love my flatmates. They're all super sweet. We got along really well, but I do know some of my friends who did have trouble living with their flatmates because, as you know, a junior living with first years, it's kind of you develop a lot within those couple of years, so it might be a little hard to relate to them and interact with them. But overall, I don't think it's that big of a problem. I haven't heard anybody have like a huge problem with their flatmates. Living in a flat, you do get a lot of privacy, which is something I don't think you get living in a dorm back in the US. So all the rooms are singles, and the kitchen is really the only place that I run into my flatmates. Like sometimes I'll run into them in the hallway, but if we're all in the kitchen at the same time, that's sort of the place that we'll all sit down and talk. You can definitely go like an entire day or an entire week without seeing your flatmates. So I do think it's really nice to have privacy, but it's also kind of like really easy to isolate yourself. So you do have to go out there and make friends with your flatmates and like put yourself out there. Now, in terms of my particular flat, New Arthur Place, I would 100% recommend it. I loved my flat. I will say it was one of the cheaper options. When you're applying for housing, you get to choose 5 different options, and then Housing at Edinburgh will assign you a house. So this was the cheapest option out of all my choices, and I am 100% happy with it. The one thing that I loved about my flat so much was the location. It is so centrally located. It's about like a 7-minute walk or 6-minute walk to George's Square, which is where most of your classes will be if you are studying anything that's not science. So Edinburgh has 2 different campuses: King's, which is where everybody goes if you have science classes, and then George's Square, which is anything like humanities. But I also had my econ and math classes there. Well, econ is a humanities, but math isn't. So that was super convenient for me. It's also around like a 15-minute walk to Princess Street, which is the main shopping street in Edinburgh. It's also around like a 20-minute walk to the Airlink shuttle stop, which is the bus that most people will take to and from the airport. This location is also super close to restaurants, coffee shops, thrift shops and grocery stores. So literally my nearest grocery store is like 5 minutes away. It's also literally right next to the gym. It's a 1-minute walk from the gym, which is originally the reason why I picked this place. Now, some things that I didn't like about living in New Arthur. First of all, the rooms are definitely bare. I don't know how to explain this. You'll definitely see this when I am showing you around, but the walls have this kind of like bubbly texture, and it definitely looks like a student accommodation. Another thing I didn't like about New Arthur is that sound travels a lot. In the morning, you can definitely hear people like slamming the door throughout the flat and also throughout the entire building. If you are a really light sleeper, maybe that's something to take into consideration, especially when people are coming home from a night out. Now, while New Arthur is really central to most of like your necessities and places that you are going to be on an everyday basis, it is kind of far from Newtown, which is where a lot of the newer hip like bars and clubs are. It's not super far. It's like maybe like a 25-minute walk. So if that's something that you wanted to check out, maybe look into other options that are closer to there. All right, so I think that is everything that I have to talk about, and now I'm gonna go right ahead and kind of show you around my room. All right, so this is a quick overview of my room. As you can see, I think you can kind of understand what I was saying when it does look a bit bare. I think if you get a lot of decorations and cover up the walls, however, that is totally fine. As you can see, this is kind of what I was talking about with the bubbly walls. So this is my bed. I did bring a blanket from back home, which I know some people bought one here, but I just didn't want to buy one here and throw it away. I thought that was kind of pointless, so I had room to bring one, so I decided to. I didn't end up bringing a full sized pillow. I just kind of have this mini one that you use as like a throw pillow, and that worked totally fine for me. The bed is something I will say is terrible. It did hurt my back at the beginning of the semester, but you do get used to it. I have some slippers that I got from a hotel in Spain, which definitely take those because they are super useful for later on. This is my desk. I have my contacts, nothing too special. A calendar that I got from Edinburgh for free because I was one of the first 50 people at like this meeting of like, what do you do after you've left Edinburgh? So those are all my shoes. I didn't bring that many shoes to Edinburgh. I think this was the perfect amount. I honestly think it was too much. But I thought in this video I would also kind of like tell you what to bring and what not to bring. So okay, these are my Hunter rain boots. It honestly did not rain that much here. I would literally say it rained maybe like 10% out of the days throughout the semester. Maybe if you had like smaller rain boots to bring them, but personally I did not really wear them at all throughout the semester. So I also never wore these high heels, these black high heels. I thought I might wear them like going to like a fancy event or whatever, but nope, literally never wore them. I have these pair of black booties that I wore all the time going out, and I think bringing kind of like a cheaper pair of like shoes is kind of the perfect option to go out in. I also found myself wearing these riding boots a lot. They're my favorite riding boots, but I will say that's definitely not a fashion trend in the UK. People don't wear tall riding boots. People will only normally wear booties. Definitely recommend bringing a pair of shower flip-flops because you will be sharing a shower with a couple of other people, and also if you're going to be staying at hostels. So these are the shoes that I wore the most often here, and these are my like white-ish Keds. I think, you know, Keds, white type of Adidas, those kind of sneakers are super popular here. So any type of like these kind of shoes definitely would bring, because Edinburgh is such a walkable city. You will be doing a ton of walking, so you really should bring kind of comfy shoes. And I bought this pair here at Primark for like £3. I did bring Toms as well, but I literally never wore them. So this is my closet, and they do give you a lot of closet space, which is really, really nice. It does look kind of empty now, but I have done some packing, so that's kind of why there's not that much in here. Trust me, there's normally more. And you also get this entire shelf and this space here, so it's more than enough room. I brought 4 jackets and 2 vests. I would not recommend bringing vests because no one wears vests in the UK, and I just didn't really find a use for them because it was either too warm to wear a vest or too cold. The 2 jackets I would recommend bringing is kind of like a fashionable jacket and then sort of like a warmer jacket. So this is my like fashionable jacket, and it is a rainproof trench coat. Trench coats are definitely very, very in style here. So if you have a coat that's like this, I definitely would recommend bringing it. And this is my down jacket, and I literally wore this up until April because although it's not like cold here, it never gets under like 50 degrees. It is super, super windy here, and that makes it feel cold. I also have a raincoat, but I really never wore it very often because it didn't rain a lot here. This is the view from my room. I really, really like the view. I can always see really pretty sunsets. This is Pleasance. So this is where like the theater is and where like art groups will, performance groups will practice. So I was in an a cappella group, and this is where we practiced. It was super convenient for me. This is where like dancers will practice, so I can see them from my window and kitchen, which is really cool. So this is my desk, and I've never really had a talent for like placing things or decorating, so this is kind of what you get. And they did give me a bulletin board, which I have decorated with just pamphlets I've gotten throughout the semester because I haven't bought a lot of decorations for my room because I just didn't want to bring it all back. And I found that this worked out really well because I can just throw it all away afterwards. So this plug is definitely something I wanted to talk about because it has been so useful and pretty much a lifesaver throughout my traveling. And it was $20, and it's basically a universal plug or whatever, and they give you a bunch of different plugs that you can change out in the back. So obviously I have it in the UK plug right now. They give you 2 different plugs and then 2 USB plugs so you can use to charge your phone, and you don't even need to bring the little plug. How many times have I said plug? Another thing I would recommend, bring sample travel size version of products, because then you can use them up and then buy full size versions when you come here, and then you can fill up these empty bottles when you travel. So then you don't have to keep buying travel size version of things when you travel. That was a hack that I found was super helpful. Those are just all my notebooks. Honestly, I haven't decided if I'm going to throw them away or not because I really like keeping notes just in case I do need to use them. They do give you a little hook here, which was super nice for me to put like my necklaces and my backpack. I would recommend bringing some sort of like backpack to travel with or to bring with you when you're like doing errands. I mostly use my Longchamp bag because it can fit more stuff, and if I'm bringing my laptop, like obviously it can't fit into this. This is the dresser. They give you a lot of space to put your clothes. They have like this and also the closet. This is just where I keep like my jewelry, candle, my 2 cameras. The camera that I'm using right now to film is the Canon Rebel EOS T5. I know people have asked me about that. This is my Polaroid camera. And then this is like a huge Yik Yak flag that I use to decorate my room because my friend's brother is actually a Yik Yak rep, and when I went to visit him, he had a bunch of free stuff to give away because Yik Yak actually went out of business, but I thought I would use it to decorate my room. So that's it for my entire room. This is just a general overview. I really did want to do something different because I felt like I was posting a lot of the same things for, you know, a lot of travel videos, which are really fun to do, but I also wanted to film a video that might be a little bit more helpful and more personal to people who are thinking about studying abroad in Edinburgh. So I hope that people who are thinking about coming to Edinburgh found this video helpful, and it also gave me an excuse to clean my room truthfully, which I really did need to do before I left. I really hope this video was helpful, and I guess I'll see you in my next video. Bye!